What's up, guys? This is Mike Loris, going to be casting another game, League of Dota, Season 2, Week 3. I kind of goofed in the last game. That was a round 2 game. This is also a round 2 game. There's some weird things going on with the bracket, but I think XpreZ just won a game, and now they're up against Vexx, who had a kind of a bye, so I don't know if you want to assign round numbers to it or whatever, but either way, it's going to be another game. And we have pretty standard bans, Slark, Alchemist, Timbersaw, as well as Bristleback. Very tanky heroes, very hard to deal with heroes because, hell, you could lock them down, you could try to lock them down, but then they'll probably just escape anyway because they're broken and they should be nerfed all into the ground. But Vexx going to open up their lineup with Crystal Maiden as well as Visage. It doesn't get much more aggressive than that. You kind of can't get any more aggressive. Getting the two probably most aggressive support heroes right off the bat is going to be absolutely huge for them. They could be very, very aggressive in lane and in their roaming. So already, XpreZ, they have to watch out. They're mid lane, and whoever's unlucky enough to be facing up against these two heroes in without roaming, they're all going to be in a lot of trouble. Now XpreZ with the Mirana pickup it's a good hero, but I think doesn't have it's not as special as a CM Visage. Like, there's something really beautiful about a CM Visage that Mirana just doesn't have. Like, I don't know if I could put it into words necessarily, but like, CM Visage just work together so well. And Mirana, like, she works together with some heroes really well, like with Bane. I don't know if they want to pick up Bane right off the bat right now. They probably don't really know if that'll be the best for them. They could generally wait a little bit more, but making that Bane-Mirana combination happen it's a pretty valuable asset. However, getting it this early would... Okay, going for Vengeful Spirit, that's also pretty good.
Radiant team ban.
So Vengeful Spirit Mirana instead of Bane Mirana.
Dire team ban.
Hold on, guys. Shit. Okay, my computer's acting up. I'm just going to take 1 second out, guys. Hold on. Okay. Okay, I think it's better. Alright, just getting some weird, like, pop-ups or whatever. Some menus were coming up, I don't know. But either way, okay, we have Mirana as well as Vengeful Spirit. I would say it's pretty good. It's not as classic as the Bane-Mirana combination, but at the same time, Bane, when you're working that combination versus a Crystal Maiden as well as a Visage, it gets a little bit difficult just because whoever you Nightmare is going to get the Nightmare pulled away immediately. Because, of course, CM and Visage, both range heroes, both have the luxury of doing that. Vengeful Spirit, you don't have that luxury of doing that. I mean, whoever you stun, they're probably going to get hit arrowed unless someone dives in the way and is all heroic like that. But either way, Vexx not going to take any chances. They're going to go with that Bane ban regardless. Although, I mean, Bane as an additional stun is also pretty damn effective. And then, of course, it's Bane later on, which is also pretty good as well. So it all makes sense there. XpreZ going to ban out some pretty good laners to go with the Visage as well as CM. Juggernaut for that pushing Weaver's because Weaver's impossible to kill always. Though I think with Mirana as well as Vengeful Spirit, it's not impossible to get a kill on that hero. It'll just mean that they have to work a little bit harder for it. And when you have to work that hard to get a hero down, then it's probably just easier to ban him out. Because Weaver is a hero that needs a lot of counterplay. If you let him sit and farm, then you'll regret it later on. You have to be aggressive, and you have to be aggressive with the right tools, and if you're not, then he gets away, and you waste your time, and then everything just gets really ugly. They're going to ban that one out regardless. And then we see Vexx's last ban. Really don't think it should be too crippling for XpreZ, since they have a very, very blank template so far. I mean, Mirana Vengeful Spirit can go anywhere, or can go into any lineup, rather. They're going to see a Luna ban out, which I think is a pretty good one. So much range damage, you don't want to get that aura extra value. And now Vexx. They have their two supports, so they're just going to look to pick up a couple cores. I think their carry and offlane is probably going to be their highest priorities for now. Something like a Bounty Hunter might not be too terrible. Though, I mean, Bounty Hunter, other offlane heroes, Windranger, Clockwork.
10 seconds.
Or they could even run aggressive. I mean, Visage Crystal Maiden is a very crushing aggressive tri-lane. Having banned out the Luna, I think they themselves would have done pretty well with the Luna, though they're going to go with the Clockwork, okay. Clockwork, very, very strong pickup here, even though his cogs did get slightly nerfed, I think. Yeah, that got one less attack required to break them. So you can just hack through the cogs pretty easily if if the team is coordinated enough to do it. However, it's still a very powerful hero, very durable hero in that bottom lane who could easily punish slips of a little bit of a mistake. You get too close to a tower, all of a sudden you're cogged in, and then you're dead. If you run a little bit too close for him, all of a sudden battery assault cogs, and well, you're dead again. Clockwork, still a very potent hero, and I think he will continue to be in the Dota scene despite his slight nerfs. Of course, he probably will play pretty separately from the Crystal Maiden Visage. Still is undetermined whether or not it is going to be an aggressive lane from Vexx, or if they're just going to be super defensive. I think going aggressive is probably the right decision. And we have XpreZ picking up Clinkz as their third hero. It's pretty early time to pick up Clinkz. Generally, you can afford to wait a little bit before you choose that hero. But I'm thinking this is going to push Vengeful as well as Mirana more into a supporty role. Which has a roaming Mirana, roaming Vengeful. I don't think that's the most effective way to play the hero. But I mean, I just don't have that much respect for Mirana. I know she does a lot of magical damage. I know that's a thing. But I just don't respect the hero. Her and Doom, I think, are heroes that are picked quite often. I just don't respect them. That's just a thing that I have. There's no way around it. There's no convincing me that those two heroes are crushingly good. Like Clockwork, you can convince me that guy. Crystal Maiden Visage, I mean, I'm all but convinced. Clinkz as well. I like Clinkz as a hero. Mirana, I just don't. I feel like she's too hit or miss. But whatever. It's regardless of what I think, because she is a powerful hero. Like I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat it with my point of view. She is a powerful hero. Whether or not I respect her as that hero is another question entirely. But going for Clinkz is going to open the door for solo lanes potential for XpreZ. You have a Gyrocopter as the tri-lane pickup for Vexx. That is a devastating aggressive tri-lane, and if XpreZ want to fight that one, they're going to need a lot more power. Vengeful Spirit Mirana is supports as a farming Mirana. Either way, it's going to be a little bit rough. Now, the good thing going for them is that Clinkz is probably going to be matched up versus the Clockwork. And that is a very, 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 very favorable matchup for the Clinkz. Just being a range hero, having all that damage in Clockwork, unless he gets boots a lot faster than the Clinkz, which is very unlikely, is going to be unable to punish Clinkz for anything, really. If he gets close for battery assault, poof, Shadow Walk, Skeleton Walk, rather, and then Clinkz is home free. If Clockwork has Dust, well, then he's probably not going to get close to Clinkz until level 6. And then at that point, Clinkz has got to be a little bit careful since he's such a soft hero, and Clockwork can easily 100-0 him down just with the hook shot in to a level 3 or level 2 battery assault with cogs. Clinkz is very vulnerable at that point. However, until then, Clinkz is going to be stomping all over Clockwork in lane, and XpreZ, their pick is going to be the Viper. The question is that going to be a mid lane Viper? I think it might just be. They have a lot of range damage, and they have actually something we don't see every day: 4 agility heroes. Yet 2 of those are supports. Weird, isn't it? And unfortunate. Oh, they could go for Venomancer as the last. Easy pick. Easy Venomancer last pick. 5 agility lineup.
5 seconds remaining.
But Vexx, what's their ban going to be? I think they're expecting Viper to go towards the mid lane, in which case they know Vengeful Spirit, Mirana, and X Hero are going to be going together, and Rubik. Yes, I think that's a pretty good ban. Between the Rubik lift and the Vengeful Spirit stun, that's just way too much of a guarantee for Mirana to hit that arrow. I think that's a responsible ban from the Vexx side, but still, XpreZ, they have the luxury of switching Mirana from primary farmer to roaming supporter, and Vexx gonna go with the Kunkka for their mid lane. That's a little bold, I think. Yeah, Kunkka can get some chip onto Viper, but at the same time, Viper is the king of chip. I don't think there's a chip hero better than Viper. Like Clinkz is pretty good, but he doesn't have that slow. He can't actually keep up with the enemies. So we can't really translate that chip into a kill unless the enemies are dumb. Or unless Clinkz has support, which is also a possibility. But going Kunkka versus Viper, of course it's a melee versus range matchup, which is a thing. But you also have a melee versus a Viper matchup, which is also just like unhappiness everywhere. I don't think it's going to be laned any other way. But Viper is still very vulnerable to the Visage Crystal Maiden gank. You land a Frostbite into a Torrent, and Viper is pretty much guaranteed to be put into a body bag. Is that worth putting the Kunkka there in the mid lane to suffer up until then? Well, it really depends on how Vexx decide to lane it. If they put the Clockwork down in the bottom lane and then have Visage CM on top lane, locking down the Clinkz and locking down the Viper, I think that would be better for them than going for a tri-lane. Despite how powerful their tri-lane is, being able to help out that mid lane and leave freely without having your gyrocopter be in grave danger, I think is something that Vexx have to consider. Like put the tri-lane in the top lane, and then effectively lock down Clinkz and Viper instead of trying to go toe-to-toe with Vengeful Spirit, Mirana, and then whoever XpreZ is going to pick up right now, which is a Invoker. Okay, so it's going to be definitely a support Mirana. I think it's Invoker mid versus Kunkka, which is, I think, a little bit better for Kunkka, quite honestly, like against Invoker or against Viper. I would rather be up against an Invoker as Kunkka. It's still not the best, because Invoker will have a lot of damage eventually, but before then, you could definitely outlast hit him. You have so much more damage with that Tidebringer. So we'll see how they want to lane it, but we have ourselves a game. This is League of Dota Season 2, Week 3, sponsored by ebgamingbets.com, so be sure to check them out, guys. Place some bets, lose some money, because that's what you do, or gain rares. But actually, no, losing rares is just what I do. Everyone does. I wonder how many people actually lose rares whenever they say my rares. Probably like a single-digit percentage. That's probably something like there. Okay, let's Bastion it up, because Bastion is by far, undisputably, the best announcer. And then get our nice TI skin up. And we have ourselves a game. XpreZ. It's going to be Chen or Feed, so I guess this guy is deciding on feeding on the Viper, going to the top lane. Hyla is going to be on the Mirana. Silva Flash is going to be supporting as the Vengeful Spirit. Mid lane is going to be Joker's Invoker. And on the bottom lane, my Chinese isn't good enough to know what that is. Hell, no one actually knows how to read Chinese. If they know how to, if they say they know how to read Chinese, then they're just faking. Call them out, they're lying. Visage is going to be played on the other end. Vexx by Grenry. On the Crystal Maiden, it's going to be Troya supporting with that Visage, and it is going to be Sabato going to be on the Gyrocopter. Laning this in an aggressive fashion. Disconnected is going to be on the mid lane Kunkka, and that leaves We Lost TM on the Clockwork. So Vexx, they are going to be laning this in an aggressive way. Of course, that means that Clinkz is not going to have the best of times, because if he gets tagged with, well, there are sentries, so if he gets tagged with the Frostbite, I'm pretty sure he's just dead. Because Frostbite into Rocket Barrage level 1, that in itself is probably enough to kill the Clinkz. Add on to that a Soul Assumption, and that's just a nail in the coffin. So we have now a potential First Blood setup. Clinkz, if he gets too far away from his creeps, then he might just die. But if he hugs his creeps, I think that's probably the best chance for him to live. And he spots him out. Pings come out everywhere, and looks like the gank attempt is going to fail, but it's not really too bad. They didn't lose anything. And on the mid lane, Kunkka versus Invoker. Kunkka already taking an early lead there. Invoker is going to be behind for a little bit. And I think I should be behind for a lot more, actually. Going up against a Kunkka, because usually you would say Invoker, he's going to get behind for the first couple levels, but once he gets level 3, level 4, once he gets a couple points of next sort, then he's fine, because he's doing the damage with his right clicks to be able to last it effectively. However, Kunkka is also leveling up and scaling a lot with damage in the form of Tidebringer. So that bonus damage is going to mean that Invoker needs a lot more time in order to get full control over that lane. Top lane, it's Clockwork being utterly dominated. Really not too surprising there. Probably, well, cogs actually aren't going to help him that much. Mostly because all the enemy heroes are ranged, so he's going to have to cog up, hit the cog, and then start running. And then up against poison attacks, up against a very easy arrow from Hyla. Of course, set up with the magic missile, and he's got to watch himself. So I don't think Clockwork, unless he gets... The Clockwork's only going to die if he makes a mistake. Really, Clinkz as well. But running aggro versus aggro, and we'll see who's the first one to derp up and slip up just a little bit. Taking a look back at this mid lane, 5 for 0 versus the 5 for 3. Invoker doing pretty damn well, disconnected. Having a little bit of trouble last hitting, even with that extra Tidebringer damage. Of course, Jokers will have that range advantage, so whenever disconnected is going to go in and will get denied. He's going to be taking some damage on the way out. And the Quas runes on the Invoker making it very easy for him to stay safe with that harassment. Clinkz on the bottom lane, he's level 2. Clockwork is level 3. The Clinkz is getting a little bit less than the Clockwork, though ultimately it's not going to be too much. Surprisingly, try aggro versus try aggro. It's pretty much just a wash. I mean, these lanes are... They both wanted to run into each other, I think, but neither team actually has run into each other, so we're going to be seeing a very, very passive start to this game. Now, the good thing that for Vexx is, well, I guess the good thing for both teams is that they could both rotate the supports into the mid lane and then try to get some kills. However, the Radiant, well, that ward actually isn't going to help. So yeah, the Dire definitely have the advantage there. There's no, it's a wash. Everything's a wash right now. Everything you see in this game is just a big mirror, and it's all just a wash. Because like the bottom lane could gank the mid lane, there's no wards there, or the top lane can gank the mid lane, and there's still no wards there. There's a matter of time before someone decides, okay, enough is enough, let's just go and kill things. I think it's probably going to be XpreZ, just because their matchup, their lanes are a lot, not their lanes, their lineup is a lot more mid-game oriented. Getting a Viper and Clinks in the mid lane is absolutely devastating, whereas Vexx, they could sit back on their gyrocopter, and then with the soft nature of XpreZ's lineup, we'll probably be able to take it late game, especially helped out with the Kunkka, so lots of AoE damage versus the relatively soft heroes of XpreZ. I think the aggression will probably come from the XpreZ side first, and Silver Flash gonna find we lost, hitting with a magic missile, not doing that much damage at all, and a free-handed arrow. It's really difficult to land those. Chenerfeed's gonna get in there with some poison, but that's pretty much it. Disconnect on the mid lane, meanwhile, getting roughed up pretty badly by Jokers. Nerfed Forge Spirits? What nerf? And Salve Bottle. Oh, Forge Spirit. A little bit of a mistake there. Not canceling off either the Salve or the Bottle. Now Clink's in the bottom lane. He's going to get Frostbitten up. Is he in the sentry range? It looks like he's not. Needs a Soul Assumption. Not in time. Hyla's going to come right in. No arrow, no mana, I don't think. Yeah, doesn't have any mana. Sabato. He's going to take a little bit of damage on his way out, but he will be just fine. No more rotation here. Salving up, and Hyla is going to be spotted by nothing. He's going to place a ward of his own. But here, helping out the Clinks, actually can't do that much. Like, you can have all the range heroes you want in this lane. It's not really going to be enough. Actually, probably if they rotate the Vengeful Spirit in, then we got a lane. Then we got a real lane. But until then, this tri-lane is going to be walking all over the Clinks, just as they have been for the past 5 minutes. Level 5 in the Clinks, though. Level 4 in the Clockwork. Clinks getting a little bit more effective. Getting a little bit of space due to that Mirana play. And taking it back, look back at the mid lane, it's still relatively even, though Invoker with a ton more denies, so staying a little bit ahead of that Kunkka. Invoker, luckily for the Kunkka, though, isn't a hero that hits a huge jump in power at level 6, like a Queen of Pain or a Puck. So Disconnector doesn't have to worry too much about that. However, he will have to worry about stray arrows now. If he gets hit with an arrow, it's an easy Sunstrike. You could position it all the time in the world, but it's not going to be an easy arrow, because freehanding arrows is actually really hard. Clockwork's still trying to get experience in the top lane, Clink's trying to get experience in the bot lane, and overall we have nothing happening. What an exhilarating game, guys. It's so exciting. Clinks is like getting ordered away, and we lost just hugging his tower. Those towers getting chipped down pretty low. Teleportation on this top lane, it's Visage, but he can't actually do anything here. Now, Visage is a hero that could easily die. He has no points in Gravekeeper's Cloak. And we lost, can get in there with help him out with a level 3 Battery Assault, but you know, it won't really help him out too much. So if Green Reed gets tagged with a stun or a Viper Slow or something, I think he might just be dead. Magic Missile follow up with an arrow. Unfortunately for the Vexx side, that they don't really need the Visage on this bottom lane. Like Troya as well as Sabato together is probably more than enough to handle this Clinks. Though the early experience differential is going to hurt their kill potential greatly. Disconnected getting it snapped up with the mid lane, but he's fine. Unfortunately, losing a regeneration rune, that kind of sucks. Do have Hyla looking on the top lane. Just lurking for an arrow opportunity. Arrow gonna fly and hit onto We Lost. Is there a Sunstrike follow-up? There has to be. Where's the Sunstrike? There it is. We Lost is gonna be the first blood, most likely. Range attacks, and he's gonna go down. Teleportation from Troya. Gonna land that disable onto the Mirana. Is gonna be a 1-for-1 so far. Troya is gonna go down, but here comes the Gyrocopter. They're burning out all the stops for this one. Silver Flash can hit with a couple rockets, though the creep wave is here just in time. Viper still holding his ground, and Gyrocopter might be a triple kill, or 3 kills for XpreZ. One more hit is all you need. There you go. It's a triple kill for Chenerfeed. It might even be one more. Greenry is going to hit with a Viper Strike, but he's not going to chase this one down, deciding not to test the Clockwork. And Chenerfeed is going to be forced to let this Visage get away. Hyla, though, has an arrow. Leap. Arrow. Oh, yes. It's right on the money. He lands the arrow. What a shot. And Mirana makes it another kill for XpreZ, taking a very early 4-1 advantage with Vexx rotating everyone they have up to that top lane. Hyla is there delivering with an arrow. Chenerfeed, he's just remaining unpressured with that Nether Toxin, with that poison attack. and then hitting level 6 at a perfect timing. That triple kill is going to give him almost enough money to fully complete his mech, and that is terrifying 8 minutes in. Also, Invoker getting in there a little bit to help out as well with that additional Sunstrike. If that Sunstrike was not there, Clockwork for sure would have walked. But that's the power of Invoker. Even if he's in the mid lane, even if he's losing, like which he's not, he still will be doing fine. Now We Lost is in a lot of trouble as well. Arrow is going to be a little bit off the mark here. He's going to put the cogs. He should be fine. Sunstrike though will land. 200 HP on the Clockwork. And Crystal Maiden going to get in there with a Nova. Disconnected is going to X Torrent, Chen or Feed, and he's going to take a lot of damage. Green Ray is going to drop Soul Assumption on that hero, and Chen or Feed is going to go down. Silver Flash as well as Hyla both going to escape from there. And Sabato right back down to the bottom lane. Unfortunately, his rotation up to the top lane was nothing but wasted time. And now mid lane, yeah, Visage probably don't want to be doing that. It's a bad idea. Wasting a teleportation scroll there, but at the same time, keeping himself from dying, so, you know, whatever. Kunkka does have a haste rune. Is he looking for a boat? Oh, he's looking for a torrent, and that's about it. Wants to line up some cleave damage. Arrow's going to fly, and here comes Grenry. There's an X, and there's no follow-up. Are they going to try to go for this guy? There's a big Tidebringer hit, but there's no real follow-up. I think a Soul Assumption might have done it, especially with CM's so close, but a Cold Snap onto the Maiden, and she's going to take a lot of damage. Sunstrike not available just yet. Arrow going to fly, though. Oh, please! Oh, God, Troy, if you got hit by that, that would have been depressing. But Hyla, so far, has been showing some pretty decent accuracy with those arrows. Of course, the top lane didn't really expect that. You never really expect those types of arrows. All the while, Klink's at the bottom lane, hitting level 7 now. Versus the level 6 of Clockwork, and 1v1, Kling is going to walk all over a Gyrocopter. That Searing Arrow harassment is something the Gyrocopter simply cannot withstand. He needs support if he's going to be holding that lane. Or just Kling's to leave, which is also something good for him. Green Red going to get in versus Chen or Feed, but that's not... What are you thinking, bro? What? Like, go, We Lost, go. And then We Lost is sleeping at the wheel. Was a bad plan, guys. That's going to give Viper enough money for his mech. So Visage, sometimes as Visage, you just got to run into the enemy Viper because you just got to test his defenses and see if he's ready for you. And in this case, he was ready for you. Visage just throwing his life away for absolutely nothing. We Lost as well as Troya back onto this top lane. Crystal Maiden, not with the most power in her nukes, going for 2 levels in that aura, though she does have a very, very early level of Freezing Field. And with not that many stuns, I mean, there's an arrow as well as the Vengeful Spirit Magic Missile, and those are great stuns. Don't get me wrong, but those are very how should I put this? They're like combo stuns. You want to land one after another. You don't really want to split them. Top lane tower will be fortified, and do they want to fight this? We Lost as a hook shot. There's not much else though. It's either go now or retreat, and it looks like they're going to hookshot in for Chen or Feed. We Lost going to put up some cogs, though. Instantly, his Magic Missile Tower does go down regardless. Troya going to drop the Freezing Field, lots of damage, but there's the mech. Chen or Feed's going to stand his ground. Sunstrike onto Troya. Chen or Feed will go down to a Soul Assumption. Troya, though, will be in trade. Vengeful Spirit is going to claim that kill. Grenry is going to get level 6 from that, but it's a tower and 2 kills for a Viper. Yeah, I think XpreZ are going to be more than happy with that. All the while, Jokers as well as Klinks in their respective lanes, just doing, you know, Invoker and Klinks things. Invoker helping out, Klinks just recovering from that little bit of a messy early stage. And now, with 1 tower claim, they can start looking for a little bit more. Their pushing isn't too intense just yet. Klinks does have a lot of points into Searing Arrow, and he has a... Is that an Aquila? No? Yes, it's an Aquila. It is the workings of an Aquila, which is just flying out for him. But 1 tower already claimed, and Vexx find themselves pretty far behind for 11, almost 12 minutes in. The 5,000 gold differential, 3,000 in experience. And, well, a very powerful mid-game lineup. Vexx have got to make something happen. I think they just need to get more heroes in the fight at a time. They have a lot of crowd control. They have a Kunkka early game with level 4 Tidebringer. That is a force to be reckoned with, especially with Ghost Ship being set up by CM as well as Visage. They have the initiation from Clockwork. They just have to get it at the right time, because so far they haven't really been doing that. They've been going in 2v3 on the top lane trying to defend a tower. That's not a great idea. They've been going in 1 at a time before that, giving Viper a triple kill. Still not a good idea. They go in as 5. That's going to be where their power really lies, because XpreZ, they're not an AoE team. They are so very single target focused. Like Invoker and Starstorm are the only spells that actually target more than 1 hero. I guess, wave of terror. Gotta watch out for that wave of terror, guys. It's terrifying. But yeah, the AoE of XpreZ is nothing compared to the AoE of Vexx. Like, AoE of Vexx is absolutely terrifying. With Kunkka alone, add that Gyrocopter who's now packing that call down missile, and then Crystal Maiden with the ultimate. And XpreZ are going to lose 5v5 engagements pretty much 100% of the time. Unless they're powerful enough to take the 5v5 as 5 1v1s. In which case, they're good. They're golden. So Vexx just have to apply the pressure at the right places from Vexx to XpreZ, though XpreZ not really giving them an opportunity to do so. And here we go. We're back into this game, guys, and let's do it. Alright, Invoker is level 10, double Forge Spirits, 1 point in Wex to boot. We'll just camp out on this lane. We do see a smoke up, Silver Flash as well as Hyla, both in this lane, looking for a kill into Disconnected. It will be very difficult though. Oh, they'll settle for this. Can they get a kill and we lost? I don't think they can. Not enough damage there. Level 3 arrow is pretty good, but there's support right behind them. There's actually a lot of heroes coming down to the mid lane. Yeah, Vexx, they know that their 5-man is just a lot stronger. So going for that is the right decision, I think. However, XpreZ, I think they could effectively split push and delay that. They have a Clinks, which is devastating. If you leave Clinks alone, he will start taking down your towers. Broodmother-esque. But if they land a Torrent or something, then they could easily clean up here. I don't think they're going to be caught out, though. Joker is going to send his Forge Spirits out to scout, spot everything out. And the tower will continue to be chipped down. Alright, Disconnected. There's a Torrent. Where's the boat? There it is. Onto 2, and the crash in with the hook shot as well. Cheddar Feed, unfortunately, going to take all that for his team. He's going to get swapped out as well. Silver Flash now. He's invisible, or an arrow going to fly through onto We Lost. Silver Flash still alive, though. Now he does go down. We Lost going to be in trade. Joker's on the run out, as well as Chen. Sunstrike going to miss completely. However, it's not going to matter. Invoker going to go down. Choya going to take a lot of poison damage. Cheddar Feed going to give his life to that Crystal Maiden. And now Clinks, joining the fight as well, is going to die. And Vexx take a much better fight, though. Disconnected, getting way too far out of line. What the hell? Your team's all the way back here, bro. That's not a good place to be. So it should have been an advantageous trade for Vexx, though. Kunkka getting a little bit too ahead of himself. And by too, a little bit ahead of himself. Too much ahead of himself. I mean, too much ahead of his team, because his team was nowhere close to him. And then feeding another kill, which should not have happened. I guess he didn't expect an arrow to be cooled down, but a running gun fight is something that XpreZ are okay with fighting. That's Vexx who want to take a crushing, we're just going to hit you with all the AoE and kill you then kind of fight. And that's when the power of the Vengeful Spirit really shines through. She gave her life so that Cheddar Feed can live for just a little bit longer. And he got a kill out of it too, so it's perfectly okay. An arrow going to fly onto no one. Okay. But still, this tower push is relentless. Hyla with the arcane boots, is that it? Silver Flash also has one. And the tower, chip, chip, chip. Sunstrike gonna spot out Choya. Another Torrent's gonna fly. Chen or Feed is gonna get hit with the familiar stuns, and here comes the call down. Though once again, Silver Flash is there, but the boat is gonna come in and hit the Mirana and bowl her over. Chen or Feed gonna get in there with the Viper Strike onto Disconnected. Won't be enough though. Sabato gonna get cold snapped up, but the cogs there are now up onto Joker. Another Torrent will miss, but it doesn't matter because it's a 4-man easy team fight from Vexx, losing only their CM. Sabato taking a good amount of damage on his way out, but that's the power of Vexx's team fight. It doesn't matter if XpreZ have all that 1v1. If you really just group up, take the fight to them in a group, they're going to crumble. Got to hand a lot of that fight to Grenry, setting all that up with his 2 familiar stuns right off the bat. And then, of course, a devastating boat and call down is always going to help your cause. So just like that, Vexx even up the score, or almost even up the score, 11-10. And they had a little bit of a differential now. With now the gold advantage, experience advantage, slowly closing in on 0. Problem for them is that Clinks is still farming, but Clinks with a ton of free farm is definitely not impossible to deal with. He will take down your towers as he's doing right now, but Choya is going to come right in and force that away. Joker's actually going for a Boots of Travel. That's pretty aggressive from this Invoker. Not going for a Force Staff, Blink Dagger, any of that stuff. Gonna just go for the Boots of Travel. They want to get their pushing, and they're going to get this tower. No fortifications available. If anyone gets close enough, they will get cold snapped up.
Save that bottom tower.
Grenry, as well as We Lost, going to go around with a smoke gank, but the mid lane is going to be once again in trouble. The gold advantage for the Radiant team going to extend by 2 more towers worth of gold. There's no trades in sight though. The top lane is taking a little bit of damage. Mid tower did go down earlier. That's really not too substantial. Now Feed might be in a little trouble. There's one familiar stomp. There's two. Is there any follow-up? There's a hook shot in from We Lost. Cogs, though, not in time. Even if the Cogs did land, Silver Flash was right there to pull the Viper out, so We Lost, unfortunately, going to burn the cooldown on his ultimate for nothing. Drum now up on Kunkka with the phase boots. Wants as much durability, as much cost efficiency as he could possibly get his hands on. They keep up taking these fights. I think it will benefit them, though. XpreZ, with the split pushing that they have going for them, it's going to be a little bit hard for the full 5v5 to really just get going. Vexx could just group up and just A-move down the lane, although that probably won't result in a team fight that'll favor them, because they'll be walking into places where they won't be able to prepare fights. I mean, setting up your familiars for a flank is definitely, like for a call down, that's pretty much what makes their fights happen. And or hidden torrents. When you're running into the enemy and when they're on full defensive mode, then that's just not going to happen. Joker's poking around a little bit with his Forge Spirits, disconnecting, going to try to manhandle them. We'll get the kills on those Forge Spirits, but still, taking a lot of damage in exchange. They have another hook shot up now. Haste Rune up on the Kunkka, looking for some opportunities. I think going for some side towers is probably going to be what they want to do. However, Feed still in the bot lane. Early game with the mech as well as power treads. Pretty damn hard to kill this Viper, even though he only does have 1 point in that corrosive skin. He'll only get tankier from here on out. Still doing a lot of damage at this stage in the game, though. Silver Flash and Hyla, both smoked up. Both want to crash this mid lane party, perhaps. No, they're going to wait for Feed, maybe. They're going to try to go for Grenry. Oh, they're going to go for Grenry. That's an idea. Though, unfortunately, everyone spotted out because of the missile. And We Lost his... Oh, arrow. Grenry. Gonna dodge that one. Even if he got hit by that, I think Gravekeeper's Cloak would have kept him safe. But Grenry actually wants to fight this one, perhaps. He's gonna run into an invisible Clinks with an Orchid. That's pretty scary. There is no sentry coverage. There's no ward coverage around. And the smoke is unfortunately going to miss. Though Visage leading the way. If you get the smoke dispelled instantly into the Dust of Appearance. Huge smoke up from Vexx. This is exactly what they need to do. They're going to run to Hyla. They're going to run to Silver Flash. Is there any disable at all? Sunstrike will fly. Silver Flash going to get hit with the X marks. And dust on him as well. Goodbye, Silver Flash. Huge smoke for only Vengeful Spirit. It's something, I guess. They could translate that into a tier 1 tower as well, but the creep's very far away. Modern Ultimate being used. Vengeful Spirit only dropping that one hero. All things considered, that wasn't too terrible for the XpreZ side. It could have been a lot worse. Unfortunately, just the angle that Vexx were coming in at means that they couldn't actually get any of their disables off. No Frostbite or anything like that. And now bottom lane, a little bit of a push. They do still have their big spells. Call down was not used. They have X marks and all that stuff that they used to kill off the Vengeful Spirit back online. So this tower should go down relatively shortly. The question is, what can the Radiant team do to defend this? They can start by initiating on, We Lost, who's way out of position. I mean, doing clockwork things, obviously, but here we go. 1 teleportation, 2 teleportations. It's going to be Hyla opening up with an arrow. Getting land on disconnect as well. There's a huge Invoker combination on Grenry. He will be brought down very quickly. Silence on disconnected with that Orchid, as well as Viper Strike. Getting a try to teleport out of there. It won't happen. Too much damage there. Invoker coming out big with that combination from the side. Yule's Scepter into the Meteor, into Deafening Blast, into Sunstrike. That'll do it. That will do it. And of course, Hyla free-handing an arrow and landing it doesn't exactly hurt either. Got both people they initiated on, and they're going to crack back for a tier 2 tower. They should be able to put a lot of damage on. I don't know if they could completely demolish it. The call down is not available yet, so they might be able to take it down completely, actually. Tower will be fortified, though. Alacrity into Clings. That's pretty terrifying. Silver Flash gonna get a stun out onto Sabato. Is there any follow-up, though? Yule Scepter, perhaps? Yes. There is no damage there, though. Sunstrike is there. Sabato getting hit with some stars. There's the call down onto Feed as well as Silver Flash, taking a lot of damage from that Troya. Gonna hold his ground and channel the Freezing Field. So much damage from Troya. The Freezing Field will eventually be canceled and killed off, but Silver Flash can trade his life to do so. Feed sticking his ground versus that Clockwork. Now using his stick charge. He's gonna try to go for Grenry. With the Cold Snap, they will be to take down that Visage and disconnected. Gonna get there with the boat. Feed will dodge that one. However, it will hit onto Jokers. There is a Yule Scepter available once again. Do they want to chase this one out? They don't. But it's 4 kills going the way of XpreZ, and they're still going to keep pushing this tower. They have a mech up in 3, 2, 1. They're going to pop that, keep everyone alive, pretty healthy as well. And with only the Kunkka to defend, they have to worry about Torrents. They don't have to worry about a boat. Torrent, no boat. They're going to keep on going. A little bit of chip damage. They won't take this tower in all likelihood. Disconnected going to get in there with some Tidebringer harassment, but Joker is going to chase him down with the Sunstrike. Cold Snap. Sunstrike going to miss. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. The Kunkka a little bit too tanky for that. By the way, XpreZ take a pretty good team fight there. Despite a huge channel of freezing field, XpreZ taking a running gun fight, which is, again, exactly what they want to do. And taking that on their terms as well. Clockwork cannot get in there with a good initiation with the cogs. If you don't have the Clockwork initiating, it's going to be a little bit sticky. Sabato taking all that damage from so early on. And that was like XpreZ taking a fight, not even ideally. They had like so many things that were on cooldown, like Invoker had none of his high damaging spells. He had Invoke on cooldown. So, I mean, it was not the best for XpreZ, but it turned out to be really good. And you could just imagine what would happen if they were fighting that fight in ideal conditions for them. Would have been so very different. Probably the Kunkka would have gone down because they all would have been healthier, but I mean, 4-man wipe, it's pretty good. It's okay. It's average, mediocre. Clinks with an Orchid, going to work towards most likely a BKB. So he can stand his ground and then do some work onto this. Anyone, really. I think if you just Orchids, Gyrocopter starts laying into him, Sabato will not be able to fight. He does have the Crystal Maiden nearby, and Sabato. I think this might be the death of him. There it is. Orchid, Strafe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not going to be enough. Clink's taking a weird stance there. Instead of going over here, decided to go over here. Instead of covering this retreat path, covered that retreat path. This tree, of course, always being a complete nuisance whenever you're Clinks. So, what are you going to do? We do see Moonlight Shadow now. Invoker looking to open up a cannon whoop ass onto We Lost. I think the enemy team might know that there is a Mirana ultimate going on now. But Joker is going to get the combination with an arrow off of the We Lost. Goodbye, Clockwork. That was a Sunstrike, Deafening Blast, Meteor, Arrow. 100-0 so very quickly. Oh my god, that looked like it hurt. I don't envy the Clockwork right now. Invoker crawling closer and closer to his Invoke. He's been playing some pretty sick Invokers so far. You can only imagine what happens when he has a reduced Invoke time. Plus for free, which isn't a huge deal with the Yule Scepter, but it's something. So Invoker is going to be pretty damn devastating. A little 15 on him, maxed out with that Exhort. I think now it's got to be a little bit more into the Vexx. Get that Meteor and Deafening Blast going. Got yourselves a terrifying hero. I mean, he could pretty much already 100-0 people. But, I mean, that was a Clockwork also. That was the tankiest hero that the enemy hero team has. Kunkka is technically a little bit tankier. No mech, though. Clockwork. It's going to go for... Did I see an Aghanims? No, I just saw Staff Wizardry. Yeah, I thought, like, Aghanims after on Clockwork? That's really early. Kunkka going to go for the Shadow Blade. Gyrocopter going to go for a BKB of his own. Completely necessary to break that silence out. And also withstand the Invoker. But still, Clinks is pure physical. Gyrocopter will be able to stand and fight a little bit better with a BKB on, but Clinks will be able to do just the same, because Clinks well on his BKB of his own, and Viper already holding his. So a little bit of a standoff we have right now. But Invoker has his combination armed, you can see. Invoke in 5 seconds, and you just need 700 gold for that Aghanims. A Yule Scepter pretty much means death of anyone, I would say, especially if there's follow-up from the rest of the team. And whoever's in that tornado is going to be just like praying to all their gods, all the gods they know, to somehow survive that. But I don't think it's going to happen. Both teams just standing off right now. Gyrocopter does have his BKB flying out. That will be pretty big. No, he doesn't. Just the hammer. He needs that final part. Clinks is going to get that before him. Clinks almost at there right now, actually. Clear out this camp and then probably go for one more. Sentry's down, and it looks like the Radiant team prepping for a smoke. No. Just chilling. They're actually just not doing anything. I mean, you usually want to do something. I would recommend doing things in this game over not doing things. That's my professional recommendation to all teams out there. I guess they have the Mirana ultimate, so they don't really need a smoke. It's like turbo smoke. But there are sentries everywhere, man. Wherever they go, they will be spotted. I guess they just want to get this Aghanims up on the Invoker and the BKB up on Clinks, which is one of those parts is up. And the other part will be up with the death of this Mud Golem. So Aghanim's and BKB, 2 huge jumps of power for the XpreZ side.
Radiant's top towers.
And Vexx, they have nothing going for them to mirror that. They have 1 BKB up, which is a pretty good jump in power. They have the mech now up on the Visage. That's about it. Tower destroyed by the Dire. Top lane, no response from the XpreZ side. But BKB's up galore, so magic damage all of a sudden not that great. So Jokers, if he gets a lift up on the Gyrocopter, that will not be a kill. However, if he gets anyone else, that's still very easy to take down. Maybe not as much the Visage, though. Pure damage, I don't think. Oh wait, it does remove. Okay, so the Sunstrike does not get reduced, but it does remove a layer. And yeah, it's pretty good against the Meteor, especially versus the Gravekeeper's Cloak. Bottom lane tower will be destroyed pretty quickly. Especially if the Aghanim Scepter gets delivered, it'll be destroyed even faster. We could invoke up some alacrity for his team. Courier? Run, Courier! Courier will be fine. Here we go, Mirana ultimate versus Smoke. We'll see who's reigns supreme. Sabato gonna break that smoke. And an arrow gonna fly. Oh, Sabato. There's a huge opportunity here. There's the combination on Sabato, though the BKB instantly is gonna be just fine. Troy instantly annihilated by the Venture Spirit. Chenefi can hold his ground, but here comes Louis Lost. Gonna go straight for that Invoker. Does have Yule Scepter as well as Ghost Walk. He's gonna keep himself alive, though he's still taking a lot of damage. He's gonna Yule Scepter at the last pop second Silver Flash. Gonna swap out Chenefi, and we have Joker gonna try to run his way out, though he's gonna get yanked back, and he will die. Though another missile onto Sabato. He's going to go down as well. Green Ray stuck in the wall. He's going to go down. Disconnected. Also stuck in the wall. He's going to go down as well. It's a 5-for-2 trade. Chenerfeed with a double kill. And all the BKBs. Yeah. Jokers, I completely agree with that. The Ghost Walk, though, not really helping him out. Vexx, they try to take a good fight, and really, on the back of an arrow initiation with a BKB blocking all those shots, that fight couldn't have really gone better for Vexx. They got so much value out of their spells, but again, XpreZ, with their retreating fight, with the Invoker, with the swaps from the Vengeful Spirit, who has, by the way, been playing out of her mind. Vengeful Spirit saving the Viper, that's like the 4th time, 5th time she saved the Viper. Pretty absurd value from the VS swap right there. Gonna give XpreZ yet another complete team wipe. And that's gonna translate into a couple towers. Tier 2 tower down, bot also gonna go down. An arrow for fishing, and that's going to be a lot of G's. 800 gold on the Clings after completing a power treads. Mirana with a drum. Yasha. Wait. What? She messed up? There we go. Sell it. Yeah, you don't want to do that. That's a bad idea. Invoker did die along with the Vengeful Spirit, though he's going to go for a BKB of his own. Needs to defend himself against all that magic damage. And Viper still doing so much damage just with Nether Toxin. Like, if you look at Viper's kit, he actually has no damage items. It's just not there. But just being able to sit and hit people all day long with the Nether Toxin, that's a lot of damage. He also has Silver Flash to bail him out every single time. It's pretty much Silver Flash's role. Drop Magic Missile, back up, swap Viper out. Easy peasy. Vengeful Spirit's such an easy hero. So it stands 29 minutes in, almost breaching that 30-minute mark. We have a 15,000 gold advantage for XpreZ. Almost the same thing in EXP, looking at 13,000 there. And XpreZ with full control of this game, taking all but one of the tier 2 towers. And they're once again going to group up and do nothing? Great plans, guys. Well, crits coming up on the Clinks. And I think Invoker just go hunting, though. The enemy team definitely grouped up as 5. They know that that's where their strength lies. Get that rum on their heroes. Try to crash with some big AoE ultimates. Looks like XpreZ, they just want to farm right now. I think they should just go straight for a push on the top tier 2. That should be a very easy tower for them to take. Especially now that Viper is packing a Demon Edge. MKB is going to be Radiant's bottom tower. They're going to drop another tower. Every single time that they've been doing this, they've been losing towers for free. Like, the enemy team has been doing absolutely nothing. They've been doing the same thing as they have, but the enemy team is getting towers from it. Chenefi with a double damage rune. He's going for a Demon Edge, so now he's going to be doing a lot of damage on top of his Nether Toxin. That is, by the way, a ton of damage. And it's going to be a straight top lane push. Arrow going to fly for a fish. Not going to happen. And wards are going to get dropped. Towers going to be chipped down. We'll see how well they can fight this fight, Vexx. They need huge value on their boat, as well as call down.
You know the drill.
There's a torrent onto 2. It's a good start, but a leap away. Chenerfeed probably going to get swapped out if things get really hairy. And Choya taking so much damage from just one Forge Spirit. So they pull out the Mirana ultimate. in exchange for 1 torrent, which is pretty good. Arrow being eaten by Familiar. And the tower push. Well, Joker is looking for someone to scepter up. And I think he might see Grenry. Oh, or just free Familiars. That's good too. Free gold. Double free gold. And now, there's one. There's the Meteor. There's the Blast. Grenry going to take a lot of damage from that, though. Meching up will be just fine. Tower, though, going to get strafed down. RIP Tower, and Vexx cannot defend this. They lose 2 Familiars and a tower. In the meantime, the other lanes are pushing in towards the XpreZ side, so they can't push this any further without losing some more of their big assets, like the tier 2s. But really, they're going to be okay with playing this a little bit slow right now. They're firmly in control of this game. They have another 15, I would say, minutes before Vexx's heroes get really threatening, and even then, that's just on paper. Kunkka's not doing enough. He has a Shadow Blade, which is pretty good, going toward the BKB of his own, but he's not going to be doing enough to really change the tide of the fight. Gyrocopter, he is 4th place in the gold per minute chart. Almost has a Yasha, Helmet Dominator, BKB going super defensive, so he's not doing any damage anytime soon either. XpreZ have a lot of time to get this going. Their Klings is getting really, really big. Their Mirana's even getting pretty big as well. And of course, Invoker could stand his ground with, with Exhort and then BKB, doing some pretty good damage of his own. Gonna look towards the mid lane, perhaps. No, you can try to farm up, feed some Forge Spirits. Why not? But XpreZ got to make sure that their lanes don't push in too much. They've lost 2 towers so far just because they've been sitting back and not defending them. Not even against enemy pushing, just enemy creeps pushing. With the Viper as well as the Klings getting so big so quickly. I mean, Vexx, they're running out of time to make these team fights happen. They need to force these fights on their terms. They need this clockwork to get in there with the hookshot before Jokers gets in there with his Invoker combination. If they do that, then it should be a favorable fight for them, but this might be the time to do it. Roshan Pit is Vexx's turf. This is where they're supposed to fight. This is where they are the strongest. Jenner Feed, going to dodge a torrent. However, oh, spotted out by a missile. Is there going to be initiation? No, Clockwork holding back for now. He has a Force Staff, so we could put him in a cage and then back up. But risky play from XpreZ. They don't know if there's any sentry coverage. Luckily for them, there's not. So Mirana going to spot the enemy team. Is there any follow-up, though? They do have Jenner Feed going around the back. Forge Spirits leading the way. Arrow going to fly. Grenry is going to get tagged. Familiar is going to keep him defended. And a Force Staff out. Grenry, though, getting hit with the Viper Strike. And he's going to get burned down so very quickly. Deafening Blast for good measure. But he's really, really dead. Gem going to get dropped as well. The Visage down. That should be an easy Roshan. They can try to crack the base, but I think Roshan is a little bit safer for them now. Yeah, Sentry Ward going to get burned up in the process. And Roshan. They don't have any minus armor, like at all, but that's fine. Roshan will be... Oh, they have a little bit. Wave of Terror. It's something. One Familiar going to spot all this out with no Visage, though, no mech. They actually can't defend this. They can if they get like 5 men and everything, but that's not going to happen because Disconnected is going to get spotted. Are they going to go on him? They could go on him. They don't have any True Sight, though. Dust is up on the Crystal Maiden, and she's going to dodge a lot of spells, but it's not going to matter. And they get killed anyway. Now Silver Flash looking for a swap into someone. He does have the gem, though, so sending the Vengeful Spirit in is probably going to result in the loss of a gem. Roshan still being fought by this one Forge Spirit. Arrow going to fly once again on the mark, though Roshan a little bit easier to hit than enemy heroes. And we have Roshan who's going to drop. I think it's got to be Aegis on Jenner Feed. Yes, it is. That's 1900 gold for the Viper. Top lane is pushing into the Radiant space. They have so much momentum right now with that Aegis up. They're pretty healthy. They have a lot of mana in the tank. And I think it's going to be straight towards the mid lane. See if Jokers could find anyone with that Yule Scepter, though now going for a Vexx opening with Invoker. Kind of not what you normally see, at least until Vexx gets a little bit higher up. It's 4 points away from being really devastating, but still Tornado, if you catch a couple people out with an EMP, it's a great way to set up a fight. That's why Vexx Invoker is so strong. I think EMP might even land anyway. A lot of mana burned from the Kunkka. Not doing too much damage, but that's not really their concern right now. Jenner Feed taking a good amount of damage. Here comes the boat, going to miss onto absolutely everything. Deafening Blast going to push them all back as well, protecting Jenner Feed. He's going to sit there and actually just stand his ground. Does have the BKB, does have the Aegis, and Arrow going to fly, hit onto We Lost. Jenner Feed going to burn the Aegis right now very quickly as well. Sunstrike going to fly, not going to land onto anything. Swap out, going to pull the Mirana out of the fight. Actually, still Flash though getting caught in the cogs regardless. Chenefee now gonna pop the BKB. He's not stunned up. He's gonna try to end the fight, but Sabata doing a lot of damage to him as well. Where's the Invoker? He's put down the wall. Pretty good value on that. Weird loss is gonna get force tapped out, and Jokers is going to survive just barely. Mirana's not, however. Chenefee gonna stand his ground, and it's going to be 4 down so far. Invoker, the last one to survive, but will he survive? There is a Ghost Walk, and Jokers looks like he will survive. Gonna hunt down Disconnected. Disconnected knows that the Invoker's right behind him. And the Cleave's gonna miss. There's a Yule Scepter, Forge Spirits, he needs a Cold Snap, but the Centaur! MVP Centaur instantly turned into gold. Disconnected gonna continue being chased, but wow, that Centaur saving that Kunkka's ass. I don't know if that would have been a kill. Would have been likely. But XpreZ possibly going up that hill a little bit too aggressively. The Viper was all the way back here with the rest of his team back here, effectively fighting 2 fights at the same time. Also pushing the high ground against Vexx's side means that the AoE is a lot easier to land, and Gyrocopter is doing a lot of damage as well. Gonna head on towards a Manta style. I'd rather like to see just a plus damage item like an MKB or something. But I guess if you could BKB out of silence and split out of silence and disarm, most importantly, from the Invoker, which also was wasted, by the way, I think. I think that's not a terrible idea, though it will delay his full damage effectiveness. I mean, Manta style is great for damage output, but not really what you need as a Gyrocopter, because he's not stat stacking. He's no Drow. He's no Luna. He doesn't get any extra value out of that. So going for an MKB, I think, would have been a lot better. Now big smoke up. Joker's gonna get spotted out, and oh, he's sleeping. What are you doing, Jokers? He saw them. He was attacking. Ghost Walk, but Sentry's down. It's not gonna matter. Tornado, yeah. Jokers fell asleep at the wheel. He was actually just not doing anything. And once again, I would recommend doing things in this game. Mirana with a Manta style of her own. Viper almost at that magic 28 or 3,000 gold number where you get finish up your MKB. MKB almost up in this guy. This guy's going to be doing a lot of damage, however. Taking a 1v3, I mean, he's a strong hero, but still Flash. He's not bailing the Viper out. He's still very vulnerable. It looks like they should probably be going down towards the mid lane again. They need their Invoker up, however. Aghanim Scepter, BKB. Belt of Giant Strength. Huh. Well, let's just take a quick look, guys. That's what we could possibly be seeing. I want to say not Basher. I think Heaven's Halberd is a possibility. Necrobook, also a possibility. Though at this point, Necrobook this late is generally not the best item to get. I think if you're Invoker, you just go for a Sheep at this point. But Heaven's Halberd is effectively a tankier Sheep when dealing with the likes of Gyrocopter, but he could BKB out of that, he could split out of that. I don't know. We'll see what he wants to go for. Maybe it's just for health, guys. Of course, that's definitely what it is. It can't possibly be anything else. 27 minutes in, Vexx take a pretty good fight. They're definitely still fighting from behind. If anyone gets caught out, it will be very, very difficult for the Vexx side to take a full 5-on-5. Especially now that this Clinks has his Daedalus completed. Collect the Daedalus up. And then, yeah, should be pretty cut and dry from there. They're still waiting just a little bit more. I mean, I think they should pretty much be ready to go. Invoker, almost 6-slotted, which isn't a huge deal since it's Invoker. He's not really fully effective until he's level 25, since all his spells get so much more strong. But still, Exhort is getting up there. Tornado's getting up there now. EMP, if it lands, is going to drain Kunkka of most of his mana. He casts a Ghost Ship after getting hit with an EMP, but that's about it. So XpreZ, they're sitting back just a little bit, biding their time, but I guess it's okay because the enemy team is actually just not doing anything either. They're just chilling in their base, stacking some ancients and trying to clear that up. 1100 HP. Gyrocopter just needs a big damage item. Gets one big damage item and he's golden, I think. Throwing those ancients out like it's nothing. MKB though up on Viper, and looks like XpreZ, they're gonna gear up for pushing the mid lane. The MKB and Daedalus, the big Demon Edge pair, they're ready to go. With a haste on Viper, he could run in. Doesn't have an Aegis this time. But doesn't really matter. I don't know. We'll see.
Radiant's top towers.
If someone gets hit with an arrow, then it definitely won't matter. But also swap opportunities from the Vengeful Spirit. Swapping the Force Staff back out. It's pretty effective. Now we're going to get brought down really quickly, and there's the big team fight initiation. Tenderfeed gonna get hit with absolutely nothing because of the BKB. He's gonna eat all the spells. Call down doing absolutely nothing either. He's gonna get bailed out once again by Soul Flash. All the BKBs are up though. Vengeful Spirit is gonna go down. The Invoker doing absolutely nothing with that Deafening Blast because of that BKB. Tenderfeed now gonna get hit with another Torrent. Ice Wall gonna get dropped, disconnected though. He's silenced up. He's gonna get just narrowly dodged a Tornado actually. Invoker spitting so many spells, EMP as well, but he's not doing enough damage right now. Disconnected gets a double kill. Joker's gonna get stun locked. It's another 4-man wipe for Vexx. And I think maybe, just maybe, XpreZ have waited a little bit too long. Of course, reaching the high ground is the hardest part of playing against Vexx's lineup. That is by far the most difficult thing to do because you're funneled. But even with the call down and the boat completely whiffing, the BKBs mean the Invoker is not doing anything with the spells. Deafening Blast hit one guy, and that was the person in the back who was, I don't think, gonna hit anything anyway. So Vexx had huge value out of their BKBs, and XpreZ, they just can't stand and do enough damage. They have a Kunkka running at their face. They have Clockwork doing the same. And Vexx somehow pulling these fights out. They're still very far behind, don't get me wrong. But the main thing of this fight is that their Gyrocopter is living. If their Gyrocopter was dying, I would say Vexx, I mean, obviously the fights are still not going their way, but it would be going a lot better for them. Gyrocopter's living. He's getting farm, and he's not losing any of his gold. That means he's getting bigger. He's going to get closer and closer to what looks like is going to be an MKB. Get a Butterfly or Satanic after that, and Gyrocopter, he's going to be a huge Titan in this game. But of course, until that happens, XpreZ still have the initiative. Mirana packing around an energy booster. That was a Arcane Boots, I think. Yeah, that makes sense. Or Arcane Boots. They're doing a lot of right-click damage, but again, their heroes, although they're really farmed, are primarily mid-game based heroes. That's where their value comes in. That's where Viper Strike does a lot of the enemy's heroes' health worth of damage. I think now it's time to lay down the smokes. Ninja style. Here we go. Right into the enemy jungle. The pings are out, and I don't think they're going to find anyone. Because Vexx, they're, again, playing very cautiously. They're getting farm here and there. And if anyone gets caught out with the Yule Sub, they're pretty much dead. This could be XpreZ's big chance to break the base if they catch someone, especially if it's Sabato. There's the Tornado, though instantly into the BKB. He'll take no damage from this one at all. Dropping the call down as well. Taking some damage on the way out due to the clinks, but there's the boat coming in. It will once again hit onto no one. There's no rum either. We lost. Gonna get hit with the Viper Strike. Silenced up as well. He's gonna go down. Clockwork down. Is that enough to take a fight? CM still fighting 2v1 actually. Green Ray can try to kill off Hyla. It's not gonna be enough. He can hit with an arrow. The Man Style Illusion doing some pretty good damage as well. And with the movement speed from the leap, he's gonna run his way out. Disconnected. And try to hold this 1v3. Green Ray is gonna live. And there's 2 down. Vexx, they're gonna start taking damage. I think at this point you go for the range racks. You have to. You just have to. Salvation coming back in, and Tornado. Everyone's going to get caught with that one. EMP as well. Huge value EMP. We lost almost completely out of mana. However, there is a Frostbite onto road to 4K. Jokers is going to use himself up into the air for a little bit and try to Ghost Walk. Deafening Blast will save him with the BKB pop as well. He's going to be well on his way out with so many points in Vexx, and he's just going to run for it. Sabato, though, going to close the distance for Tenderfeed. Going to lay down the missile. There's silence onto Sabato, and it looks like they're going to back up for now. They could have chased that one out, but they didn't know that they could have. So they hold their Raxes, and yeah, this is why you go for the range Rax at this point. You're putting a little bit of damage in the melee, it's not actually going to stick. Go for the range Rax, that's permanent damage right there. But Vexx, they get caught out, they lose a couple heroes, but in the end they manage to hold. They barely managed to hold. And I think we got ourselves a real game right now. Because yes, the gold advantage is pretty much 0. It's really the BKBs and how the BKBs block spells that's going to determine who wins these fights. If they block the Invoker combination, the Invoker is sad, and then he's not going to do anything. If it blocks Call Down, I mean, that's not a terribly huge deal right now. But Boat is definitely a huge deal. The Boat, I think, is probably a bigger deal with the Rum. They have to all get the Rum. That's pretty much a necessity at this point, just because they have to be able to defend up against the right-click damage of the Clinks as well as Viper, and then, of course, any Stray Invoker spells. Green Ray gonna go on a scouting mission. He's gonna get spotted out by the Clinks, however. Gem is up, and he's pretty much dead. He doesn't have any Force Staff. Oh, they're just gonna let him live. What a good team. How gracious of them. They're gonna go for Roshan. They'll be able to take this one down even faster than last time due to their damage items. But is there any follow-up from Vexx? Disconnect, gonna throw a torrent. Will miss, but Roshan is still being attempted. Hook shot in, we lost. Gonna lay some cogs down and attempt on getting Clinks. Will miss, however, and Roshan will be defended as well. Vexx effectively force XpreZ off of this Roshan, and that's off their big objective. This is where Vexx's team fight is the strongest, this small clustered pit. And they take a team fight there, it could easily translate into a tier 2, or even a tier 3 if the creep waves are favorable for them. Missiles constantly flying out, and we have a little bit of a Mexican standoff. There's only room in this town for one team. Now what XpreZ do have is the advantage of the Tornado as well as the Marana Arrow. They can randomly throw those out, and hell, even if they don't want to initiate on them, they'll still be able to put damage on the enemies from very far away. And now Marana's also been completely spotted out by Clock. That should have been spotted out. It wasn't spotted out. They're definitely not playing like it was spotted out, because we lost it so far up. It's a big wraparound though. Hyla. And that's the death that we lost. Think he's just dead? No. Force Staff? Courier? Please, Courier, don't lose the Daedalus. No. Hyla is going to get frostbitten up. Arrow will fly. Tornado will fly as well. Both crossing paths, both missing. Familiar's in the middle of nowhere, however. More gold? No, they may be summoned. So MKB is done on Gyrocopter. Daedalus is done on the Kunkka. A lot of AoE damage there. A ton of AoE damage. Look at that. It's beautiful. But with everyone defending their base, instantly Roshan going to get brought down. It's a small lapse in that timing. And Roshan is going to get stomped by the Radiant. It's another Aegis onto Viper. But we remember last time what happened when they tried to push the base with Aegis. We remember what happened. It wasn't that pretty. Now they're going to try once again. Let's see if they can make it happen this time. Differences between this time and last time: the enemies have more items. They don't have more items on themselves. They've been dying. They haven't been winning these fights. Almost a butterfly's up on Clinks. He just needs another 3,000 gold. Almost, in quotation marks. Torrents are going to fly, trying to catch people out. Daedalus hits are going to fly. Arrow as well as Tornado. Huge Tornado, actually. There's the Tornado as well as Deafening Blast. EMP. Where is it? Not there. Hookshot, not gonna land into anything. Call down as well as the boat. The rum is on everyone. Tenor feed. Gonna get blown up, but he has the Aegis. We lost. Gonna force Staff himself out of the cogs. Hyla, he tried to jump to the low ground. He will get X back though, and he's sitting in the ice wall. The rest of the team though is sitting in the ice wall. Tenor feed back up with the BKB. He's taking a lot of damage though. Disconnected is gonna get brought down, but Sabato is still doing the deeps. He's gonna get a double kill. There's the Clinks, the BKB up of his own. Another Soul Assumption will fly, and it looks like Dust will tag the Clinks. But it looks like so far 2 for 2. Can they make anything else happen? Sabato cannot cross that wall. He will have to go into it though. Tornado will fly. And the missile still flying to Clinks will get brought down by Jokers. Sabato still chasing this one out. Needs a lot more hits on this Invoker, but with so much Wex, you cannot kill this Invoker. Wex plus Ewell Scepter, untouchable. Unless Jokers turns around for him, in which case it's very touchable. Arrow gonna fly though. Arrow gonna fly and connect on Sabato. That's gonna be his death. Hyla gets another arrow connection. We lost Grin. We have to back up right now. And XpreZ, they have an opportunity, especially with another missed hookshot from we lost. He's not hitting any of these hookshots, man. Jokers once again living yet playing with fire, dropping down all of his spells. Those BKB think it's so very difficult for him to play. Gyrocopter down for another minute. Does he have buyback? He doesn't. This is a free minute for the Radiant team. This might be Rax's, but then again, will Rax's matter that much? They have a Gyrocopter, they have a Kunkka with Daedalus. They could clear out super creeps like nothing. The range Rax's also took a lot of damage. So range Rax's, at the very least, is going to go down. They'll also be able to take the melee very, very easily. Well, it's fortification, I guess. Maybe not so easily. We'll see how easily they can really take it. Tornado, though, going to catch 2. And EMP forcing everyone back. There is the boat. Big crit. Jennifer gonna pop the BKB. Lay some poison down into Disconnected. Jennifer's taking no damage in return. Disconnected very tanky with that boat rum, though he will get himself out of there just in time. We lost. He's gonna get in there with the cogs. Once again, not anything. Clinks the BKB. Standing his ground. Gonna go for Grenry. He's gonna bring him down. The Kunkka is going to live just barely. Sunstrike gonna try to connect on We Lost. It won't connect, but it doesn't matter because they take 4 regardless. And just like that, Vexx, the gyrocopter, this play right here, deciding the game. Turning around for the cold snap for the arrow. They lose the Raxes, and well, they have buybacks. They have the gyrocopter back up. Sabato needs to pop his BKB if he wants to fight this one. There's the man style split out, Disconnecting in there with a big crit, though not actually kill anyone. Tornado, EMP, lots of mana burned. And Joker's sitting there in the invis. And eat an arrow straight to the face. He's disconnected. I thought it was kind of weird. Why did he pick Invoker? He seems clueless in team fights. I disagree. Something from the chat. Invoker seems like he's landing his spells as best as he can, considering all the BKBs on the other side. And at this point, late game with BKBs, it's so difficult, and especially when the enemy team is just running at you and you have to worry about AoE. Dropping all your spells may seem like an easy idea, and on paper it is. But in practice, it gets a lot harder. Because you don't have enough time, you have to watch your spacing. And drop your combos, and invoke new spells. It's difficult, it really is. Alright, so we're at 51 minutes. Long game, man. I like nice and short 30-minute games. Not one-sided. High action, but decisive. But I'm going to cut the recording out for the people watching on the VODs later on. Don't want to take this game too long, so we're going to cut that and return when the pause is done. Oh, hell yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Let's do this, guys. Come on. Anger is like a hot coal. Even though we try use it to harm others, we in turn burn ourselves. Wisdom. So much wisdom in this game. I hope you guys are learning stuff, not just about Dota, but about life and philosophy in general. That's what you could hope for every single time you watch the stream. Just a whole buttload of wisdom. And yes, I did phrase it like that intentionally. Alright, so Raxes have been taken, which is a pretty big deal for XpreZ. They really needed to take at least one set. Though you can see how much these super creeps are actually phasing, Disconnected as well as Sabato. So once second set of Raxes gets brought down, then we have ourselves a, once again, firm lead. XpreZ, they're still 20k in both experience and gold ahead of the enemies. However, it doesn't really seem like it. Mostly because Sabato has a functional amount of gold to be a huge threat, as does Disconnected. So they have a ton of gold right now. Or, you know, a ton of gold experience. But is it enough to break the base? Let's see how much item progression has been made. Clink's almost out of Butterfly, which is going to increase his damage output more so than anything else. But the evasion is not going to matter because MKB is up on the field. We have level 3 Necro. True Sight, not going to matter too much, but of course the last will damage might matter. 2,500 gold on the Viper, nothing for him. A crit is up on the Mirana, so you know, Mirana's starting to do some pretty heavy deeps of her own. Taking a look at the dire side of the field, almost an Aghanim Scepter up on Grenry. You get those additional familiars up and running. Disconnected, still packing that broadsword. Not too sure what that's going to go for. It might be more crit. Higher chance of crit equals more fun. BKB being attempted by We Lost, and it will be completed soon enough. And CM, been holding that one Mystic Staff for the past 30 minutes? Like, not figuratively 30 minutes, like actually 30 minutes. She's going for the patented nothing build.
Boom, there it goes.
Okay, XpreZ, what's going to be the next target? Top lane, bottom lane? Random creep sunstrikes? It's also a good way to go. They're getting some big items up. Mirana could complete her Daedalus. I think there's enough gold for that. Yes, there definitely is. Butterfly up on the Clinks, and Mirana now is starting to be a huge threat. So lots of agility heroes equals lots of threat late game. I mean, almost without exception. Especially when you have an Invoker with Alacrity. Maxed out Alacrity, by the way. Alacrity doesn't get much stronger than that. It's like, what, 80 damage, 80 attack speed? Is that what Alacrity is? Something like that. And it's gonna be straight push the top lane. Alright, Vexx, this is your, I wanna say, last chance. It won't actually be the last chance. One of their last chances. Because if they lose a second set of Raxes, it's all over. Want to restart Dota. For the frame. What joy, more pauses. I love pauses, guys. After I just summed up the entire game, we're gonna pause. Again. So the BKB is gonna help Clockwork, but not really. Because Clinks is still doing that much damage, it's a lot. Mirana, 5,000 gold for her. Viper hasn't had much item progression, but you don't need items as Viper because Viper is OP. Nerf Viper, please. That was a fast pause, guys. Look at that.
Alright, carry on.
Blessed be thy name, Lord Gavin. Gabin. Gabin? Alright, top lane push. Invoker initiation is going to be pretty big for XpreZ. AoE, mainly, in that Go ship. It's going to be big for Vexx. If they land everyone in that room, they have a good chance of taking the fight. Because Zabato will hold his ground as long as he doesn't get like locked down for some reason. Shouldn't really be a huge threat for him. I still think if they had a sheep, this game would have been over so long ago. Mid lane being cleaned out and top lane's being pushed. There's a swap out, Silver Flash in a lot of trouble, but Choya, dead in an instant. There's a boat, and oh, if they waste this boat, they have to go right now. If they don't have a boat for the defense, they will not win. They have the boat's not a long cooldown, but still they need it. They need that rum. That damage, I guess, delay is huge. There's a call down trying to delay this push once again, but Clinks doesn't give a damn.
Dire's lost the top
They
tower.
lose the tower, and now their Rax is in a little bit of trouble. Meching me everyone up. They need more rum. Punka, we need another rum delivery.
Destruction.
Huge crit hit, bringing a lot of people very low, but here comes the gyro. Can he do anything? Actually. Not really. Slowed down by the Viper Strike, Ice Wall being laid down. And hookshot him once again, but we lost. But whiffing with the BKB up, wasting his first charge BKB for absolutely nothing. And now walking through the Ice Wall, because why not? Arrow gonna miss, though they're gonna get back in there with the invisibility. We lost, gonna get tagged with poison. Force Staff his way out. Silver Flash does have a swap if things really get necessary. Yeah, he's gonna swap him. Bring him down. Silver Flash gonna trade his life for it. Disconnected, gonna once again throw in another boat. Lay that rum down on everyone. Cheddar feed is going to go down, but the Raxes have already been taken. Bottom lane pushing very, very far towards the Radiant side of the map, but it doesn't really matter, because Raxes are Raxes. And with no rum available, no dedicated team fight, XpreZ playing it very smoothly on that top lane push. Now they're going to put all 5 heroes down on the bottom lane, finish up their items, maybe get Mirana that Daedalus. She has 6,600 gold. I would recommend a Daedalus. And then anything. Like, you could pretty much go for whatever you want. Butterfly would be pretty good. Why not? Oh, but the Hail Mary. The Hail Mary is going to be thrown soon. Because Sacred Relic is on the field. And you know what Sacred Relic builds into, guys. Abyssal Blade. He's going for Abyssal Blade. No, he's going for Divine Rapier. And I think at this point, it's what you gotta do. Because he's still getting all his flat cannon shots out. He's not getting locked down, he's not getting sheeped. And that's usually at this point what you have to worry about as Gyrocopter. But there's no sheeps on the field, don't have to worry about that. What you have to worry about is denying buildings, okay. What you have to worry about is actually getting out your flat cannon shots. And doing enough damage to actually kill the opponents. Divine Rapier is the only way to do that. However, he is a very, very long ways away from that. With these super creeps, they're taking less and less gold income. However, a Divine Rapier can change games, like complete 180 changes them. As long as Sabato doesn't get picked off, then he should be fine. Disconnected, you just gotta back up and let Sabato take this farm. Because as much as another Daedalus would help the Kunkka, a Divine Rapier would help their team just so much more, like leaps and bounds more. So Sabato needs this farm. If he gets a Divine Rapier, they have a chance. However, the enemy team, they're not going to give him a chance for that. They're going to go right down the bot lane. So what Vexx has to do is defend their Raxes. And, I mean, like, no shit, right? But they just have to defend it once, because defending it once should give them enough time to get the Gyrocopter up his Divine Rapier. They do that, they're right back in this game, because Divine Rapier is such a huge X factor. But they have to worry about this. Cheese as well as Aegis onto probably the Clinks and Viper respectively. Not too sure. Maybe Jokers? No. It's Aegis on Viper, Cheese on Clinks, Cheese on Silver Flash. Okay, he's probably not going to eat it, but he's going to hold it. Gyrocopter, can you get this Rapier up? Do you sell something for Rapier? I think you might. Mantis Style? They need this damage right now. And they're running out of time because the enemies are on the front gates. They're knocking. Blink, cleave. Cute tactics from the Kunkka, though it won't really help him, especially with Hyla packing double damage rune. Tower slowly getting brought down. Call down is there. Meteor deafening blast onto Grenry. Not do too much damage, but it will punish him pretty hard for stepping forward. Of course, Invoker will probably need those spells more importantly than Grenry needs his life. He just, base up and heal real quickly. Another blink forward from disconnected. Cleave! Pretty big damage, and Clinks gonna get chipped down once again. Gyrocopter getting his farm from holding the side lanes while this push is happening. This blink dagger on Kunkka might just be crucial. Getting free cleave damage out is gonna be huge, especially if he doesn't get hit by an arrow. Blink forward. Cleave. Big damage up to Hyla, but Sabato. Oh, what was that we lost? That was nowhere near anything. Sabato gonna dive right in. He cannot afford to die right now. Ice Wall is gonna go down. Everyone's got to back up. Sabato has no BKB. Not too long of a cooldown, but Jesus, we lost. That hook shot was nowhere near. I mean, he was over here. Sabato was going this way. Invoker was like all the way over here, and he hook shots like this. Look at that drawing, by the way. Beautiful. But now Rax is slowly being brought down. Sabato dropping another missile, and he's going to try to hold his ground with the Black Hand, doing a lot of damage to Jokers. And the Rax is still being brought down slowly but surely. It will be held. Feed will drop. He does have BKB though. There's the run being applied to everyone. Joker's on his way out. He will just barely invoke the Ghost Walk, but he will go down regardless. And now Feed, he's all alone. He's going to try to take down Sabato. It's not going to be enough. Disconnected seals the deal there. The rest of the team, nowhere to be found. Joker's is back. He has boost traveled back into here. But the Mirana is not going to be doing the same thing. The side lane's still in breach, and there is Divine Rapier money. Repeat, there is Divine Rapier money on Sabato. They have to run the courier out right now because they're losing this Rax's health, and they're losing it very quickly. They got to pick this item up. And if it's not, for whatever reason, a Divine Rapier, then make it into a Divine Rapier because you need it, guys. They're not sending the courier out. It's not safe to send the courier out, but it's not safe to sit back either. If they sit back, they lose. There we go. Courier is on a brave mission. No! Wait. Okay, good. It's a Daedalus for the Kunkka. Although I think buyback is more important. He's going to say, screw it. No buybacks needed. We don't need that shit. It's another Daedalus for Kunkka. So big crits, high chance for crits. But they didn't buy the Divine Rapier while the Courier was out there? Guys, are you going to Divine or not? Does he want Divine and buyback? That's just way too greedy, I think. There's 1,000 crits for the Kunkka. With Blink Dagger and X landing them safely, it's a pretty big deal. But seriously, Gyro, what the hell? Go get your item. You have enough for it. You definitely have enough. You have enough for another Sacred Relic if you wanted it. If they lose and they still don't have a Divine Rapier on their Gyrocopter, well, I think we know what happened. Seriously. Could someone tell me why he's not going? I guess he would like buyback. But if you're going to go for a Divine Rapier, that's a Hail Mary in and of itself. I don't know. I don't think that's worth it. There we go. Finally a Cogs initiation onto Clinks. He's taking a lot of damage. He's trying to run. He's not actually doing anything. He's just... Oh, there we go. Turn around for we lost. Clinks is going to go down. And the Clockwork actually lives. Sabato running forward. He's going to hit with the Deafening Blast. No tools to defend against that. So Disarm going to last for about a year and a half. Though it doesn't really matter. They hold once again. They're losing a little bit of health on their Tier 4 tower. Sabato, yes. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So Divine Rapier has been achieved. And suddenly this hour-long game just got a lot more interesting, guys. Man, the other teams would be so pissed from waiting right now. I'd be pissed. Heart is up on Viper, but Divine Rapier kind of trumps Heart every single time. Especially when they have Kunkka holding the lane with that. 2 Daedalus. Daedali? Daedaluses? I don't know. I think it's just Daedalus's. Who knows? Someone tell me in the chat. But either way, they're holding their base. They're definitely holding their base. The problem is that their 2 Raxes down, so they need to find some sort of opportunity to take a crushing team fight and then get all the way to the enemy side of the map. And that's hard. That is damn hard. The Divine Rapier, that's a great way to do it, but now their range Rax is starting to take some damage. They got to deal with that. Cleave. Tidebringer OP, look at that. Alright, so this is the great defense. Sabato now has got to pick up a Satanic.
Bottom rags ain't in a happy place.
Although, holding enough money for buyback at this point, probably worth it. Priority has definitely got to be Divine Rapier, then buyback, as opposed to buyback, then Divine Rapier. They're slowly starting to lose health in their range racks, which isn't a terribly huge deal. It just means that a little more focus will happen later on, and Invoker has a Sheep Stick. This is the item that I was waiting for about 30 minutes. They need this item up, and they need to get Hex on the Gyrocopter. That's their best bet on killing him. Because although he's doing a lot of damage, he's still not that tanky. He's really tanky because of lifesteal. If he doesn't have the lifesteal, he's not going to be tanky. Easy as that. And if you're Hex, you don't have lifesteal. Of course, he does have to deal with a short BKB. But Sabato will be able to do that, hold it relatively easily. Disconnected, trying to hold these Raxes. The Necro units will get in there for a little bit more guaranteed damage of the range Rax. Again, it's problematic, but it's not too troubling, because there's nothing that they can really do about that. Now we have a big smoke up. Do Vexx want to take the fight to XpreZ? Another big cleave, although this time not critting. Hook shot in, and is there any true sight? They catch 2 with the cogs. This could be huge. Sabato gonna drop everything he has. Gotta lay down that Divine Rapier damage. Sabato on the front lines. He's gonna do a lot of damage to the Clinks. He's gonna do a lot of damage to 10 feet. He's gonna split out, but he doesn't have any support. There's the Rum. Does he have it applied to him? He doesn't. He was actually tornado up into the air. Hex on disconnect, but that's not the threat. Sabato trying to chase everyone down. Divine Rapier with the Flak Cannon. He's gonna take down 2. He's gonna take down 3. Their Raxes though their base though is still in trouble. We lost has to hold this by himself. Disconnected and Sabato are both needed to actually do the damage, and Sabato's got to fall back. He has enough for Satanic. He's going to go for Boots of Travel. He's going to go for Boots of Travel. Are there going to be any Helm of the Dominator shenanigans? It's going to be so difficult for them to actually break the base, because that was a decisive fight, but still, Invoker's up, Mirana's up. That's not enough. That is definitely not enough. Sell the phase, pick up the travels, 3,300 gold in the bank. And their tier 4 in the mid is slowly getting brought down, 1 hit at a time. So, gold advantage, experience advantage, all of this is out the window. All of it's out the window. 66 minutes into the game. This is, I think, the longest game I've casted in this tournament so far. But it's still quite a ways away from being over. Alright, Jaro. Here's what you do. You hold for buyback. When you get enough money, you get Satanic. Or does he get Satanic? Does he get Satanic, or does he get an additional Black King bar level? Or, you know, a refreshed BKB? Because getting 10 seconds of magic immunity will be pretty freaking huge. He's lifestealing a lot already because of how much damage he's doing. It might just be better to refresh a BKB, because he has to worry about hexes now. They know about it. Kunkka got hexed last time, and he's going for a 3rd Daedalus. Okay. Well, sometimes you just gotta get that crit out, and then if you want to get crit, you go for Daedalus. Daedaluses. Or Daedali. Would really like to see a butterfly up on this gyrocopter as well, but actually no, MKBs galore on the other end. Probably not the best idea. What they need to do is just go for more hexes. I think this clinks. If this is a hex, I don't know what this is actually, but going for a hex is the right decision at this point. Just everyone go for hex. Just lock down that gyrocopter. That's the real threat. That's the only threat they have. I mean, disconnected is pretty big a threat as well, but then again, you need more hexes to lock down disconnected. Tornado gonna fly. Ooh, just barely catching their feet. Arrow gonna fly. Disconnected gonna eat one for the team. No follow-up though, so not a big deal. Kunkka's gonna chill. And their base still in full breach. 2 racks is down, and it's damn hard to hold stuff like this. because their Raxes are going to go down. There it is.
Dire's bottom rags.
So they got the range Rax, more momentum down to the bottom lane.
Structure's looking fortified.
Fortification holding this last tier 4 tower. And XpreZ, they just split push all day long. Should be golden for them. At this point, this is where Clockwork needs to be really active along with Sabato. Hook shot in, get a pick off, force everyone back. Because he's the only real initiation that the Vexx side has. And they have damage like that. And there we go. He's gonna hook shot in. What? What? What happened to Clinks? Why was he hook shot lethal? What the hell happened? Sabato gonna start going on to Center feed though, making it a little bit difficult with that corrosive skin. The rest of the team is on the bottom lane. Megas are at hand, and there's no one here. Sabato is nowhere close. Disconnected, needs a huge crit, but it's too late. He's going to get the crit regardless, but the racks have already been taken. Now they have one chance. Silverflash going to swap his way out, but though Mirana going to go down. Sabato's going to get a Mega, and the base, the throne, is in full breach right now. They have one chance, and that is a Doom push down the mid lane. Sabato and Disconnected, they both got to go. Someone has to go. If they hold it, they can't hold Megas. They could hold 2 sets of Raxes for a long time. They have. They've proven that already. They cannot hold Megas. They gotta just move down the mid lane. Or the bottom lane, or something. There's a tower in the mid lane, but you know, Dawn Rapier is not a big deal. Satanic is being purchased. Are they really going to try to defend Megas? That's just not gonna work. That is not gonna work. I mean, they can hold Megas. Like, Megas aren't gonna kill them, because they have so much damage and cleave. But they can't beat Megas. You know what I'm saying? BKB, right click, and that's it. Another Daedalus. That's Daedalus number 3. Oh, Jesus, guys. Jeebus. They gotta go. They gotta Doom push. If they don't Doom push, they just lose. They'll slowly get strangled by these Megas. Can we go? Are we ready to go? I am so tired of this game. I just want it to end.
Alright, carry on.
I need more water. My cup's empty. Why is my cup so small? Why do I have such a small cup? What the hell? That's poor planning. I actually need like a giant one. Alright, so Roshan number 4 is being taken. They do get stronger and stronger now. Center feed taking a lot of damage from that. Well, they'll be able to take it down regardless though. Hexing up the Roshan. Nice cute piggy. But yeah, this is a problem. It's a big problem. Because they need another Divine Rapier if they're going to hold Megas. I guess it's like not impossible to hold Megas, but they still have to worry about Clinks. Backdooring the Ancients, which is a thing. In these turbo late game situations, Alacrity is going to be the biggest tool. Forge Spirit's not so much anymore since the creeps are being annihilated anyway. Using as much bum rush damage as you possibly can get. They're going to hold. They're still banking on one big team fight. Though, Center feed going to be able to buy Boots of Travel and get back into here. Cleave, no crits. They have this many Daedalus and not have a crit. Like, odds are you're going to get a crit. Alright, so big defense, part 2. Sabato needs another Divine Rapier. He really, really does. But what does he ship? I think he ships the Mantis style. Because the rest of his team is coming in. Big crits from Disconnected. But there's a heart on Viper, so that's not actually going to stick for very long. Tornado going to fly. They just got to wait for more creeps to get in here. Start chipping down these buildings with the Forge Spirit. Silver Flash. And swap out Sabato. Almost die in exchange. Arrow going to fly into Crystal Maiden. And there we go. Deafening Blast, still the biggest tool for them. Mantis style split, though. You got to do that. Or try to chase down Center feed, the worst possible target to go for because he has corrosive skin. Clearing out the creeps, clearing out the creeps, clearing out this last building. Arrow gonna fly onto Sabato. That might be it. That might be it. Is there any follow-up? He's gonna get 4 stats out once, but the Mega Creep's still doing work. Here comes the big boat. It's gonna hit along with Troya's ultimate, but Midderfeed just focusing down that Ancient. They're gonna stun him up, and they will bring him down, though he does have the Aegis. Sabato gonna try to go for Jokers. He will take him down as well. There's the resurrection from the Aegis. Tenerife can take a lot of damage. He's gonna go down as well. Is there buyback? Please tell me there's buyback. There is on the Invoker. There is not on the Viper. But they have no way of... They have to defend now. This is the power of Mega Creeps. You could take as good a fight as you want. Pushing into them, it's going to be difficult. Because they need both Sabato as well as Disconnected to actually take fights. And who's going to defend the base at that point? There's no one available to defend. Meteors, EMPs being used on Creeps. 73 minutes in, and we're gonna just be in here for the long haul. So I'm just gonna get comfortable here. I've once again been sitting on my leg. It hurts. Alright, Vexx. I'm counting on you guys. Pull this one out versus Mega Creeps. Prove me wrong. I think Kunkka needs a Divine Rapier.
Hello.
I think that's a thing. He definitely needs more damage. Maybe get rid of a Daedalus, or bank the Daedalus, like put it in your stash. And then buy a Divine Rapier? Maybe? Because they need to be able to insta-give people, and Daedalus at this point is not doing enough. Like, 81 damage is decent, but against Megas, you gotta be able to just one-hit cleave them. Also, Sabato at 4,800 gold has buyback and then some. So I guess a new BKB, more damage. They just need more damage. Just everyone get rapiers. Supports get Mjolnirs. Like Crystal Maiden finally got her 4-staff up. About time. The classic 60-minute 4-staff build. It's a thing. What are you doing? Jokers. You're such a joker. I don't know what the plan is with this guy, but he's going to try for it. Alright, here we go. Take 2. Ancient is at half HP. They brought it down half the first time. Can they bring it down the second half? Jokers will come in for flank. Oh, Dyer's courier dies. Oh, dear. That is troublesome. Let's see what it has. It had nothing but a gem, so that's not too bad. Where are you going, Jokers? What is happening? Well, no one will expect that. Ethereal Blade on Clinks, just to lock down the gyrocopter. Not doing much damage, because he actually is purely physical, Clinks. He has a lot of agility, I guess. 2,000 HP, and just like that, 2 hits on the creeps, and it gets brought down 100 HP. Here we go. Here's the push. Sabato on the front lines, going to put down his flat cannon, do all the damage he can. Tenerife going to focus the Ancient, dropping down very low, 700 HP, 600 HP. GG has been called, but it's not over just yet. Joker's in the back end. We lost, going to try to take him down, and it will be enough to bring it down. Joker's from the back. And we have a 75-minute game, guys. We have a 75-minute game. I hope you guys enjoyed this long, drawn-out game. And it was truly a good game. We'll trade for heroics. Sure. I don't know what that means, but we're good. Alright, guys. I don't know what the state of the tournament is right now since this game took so damn long, but we will try to catch up as fast as possible. So, forward to that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. GG.